In this series of videos, I'm going to work through prototyping the Apple Music app. So we're going to start out by effectively replicating as much of the UI as we can, or as much as we find interesting, and then we might take it and evolve it in some other different directions. We'll see how we go. So just for reference, here are some screenshots of the current Apple Music app. So there's a library tab, For You tab, browse, radio, and search. And we'll start out by just building up the components and the structure of this app, and then we'll start evolving it from there on. Okay, so I'm going to get started by creating a new project. I'll just call it music. Okay, let's start out by creating the tab view. So we're going to go in here and search for tab. Let me make that a bit bigger so we can see what's going on. So there's a tab view here, which is just a generic control, but there's also an Apple.TabView, and the Apple.TabView is kind of optimized for building that sort of iOS tab structure. So if I drop one of those on here, you'll see that we now have a little plus here. So what you would do is you drop your tabs on here. So let's start out by creating some of those elements. So let me name them tab.library as the first one. I'll create a new one in here called For You. And you can't have spaces in Zing names. If you try like this, it'll drop out the space automatically. So For You, browse, and radio, and finally search. Okay, so these will become our tabs. They're empty at the moment, but let's go back to app and we'll click on that plus and we'll drag out library as the first one. For You is the next one. Let me shrink this down so we can get them all on screen. Next up is browse, radio, and search. Okay, so right now we have 5 tabs. If we want, we can close this. But we have those 5 tabs. They're currently all empty and they're all called favorites by default. So let's go and name those tabs. So you can name them in a number of different ways. So you can either go in here and just make this library. Or the other option is to actually go into these tabs, double click on those and say For You. How else can you do it? You can click on here and change the name up here, so in the label. So we'll change that as browse. Oops. You can also go into the code if you want, so you can just do it in code. As with all of this stuff, the code and the design tab are just kind of mirrors of each other. So this one was radio, and we may as well do the last one in code since we're here. Search. Okay, so now we've got 5 tabs, and they're all labeled correctly, but they're all using the default star icon. So let me grab some icons that I downloaded. I'm not going to use the ones out of the actual music app. I've gone on the noun project and grabbed a few icons. So let me just drag those into the project. You can see here that I've got browse, For You, library, and radio in the images folder. Let's have a look. The reason why I don't have search is because search uses the default iOS icon, so the system icon. So you can just go in here and pick search, and there we go. These other ones, there's no built-in iOS icons for them, so we're going to use custom icons. So for library, I can just grab library, drag that on there. For You, browse, and radio. Okay, and as simple as that, we now have these tabs that work correctly. They've got the right icons and so on. They're all blue. The music app uses a pink color. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Here you can see the tint color is apple blue. We could do apple pink. But what I might do is just show you how you can create your own custom color. So let's say we want to just shift it along from pink a bit. Like it'll still be pink, but let's just do that. So now you'll notice that it's a bit, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's the color that I've picked. Over here in fonts and colors, it's actually showing you the colors that are used in the project. And here we have this unnamed color, so it's just got a hex value. If I do that, I can just call this primary. And now throughout the code, or throughout the project, I can now refer to that named color. So if I go in here, rather than being apple blue, I can just type primary, and I can do it in code as well. So tint color here, I'll just copy and paste the primary, and you can see there that even though you can do everything in design, it's quicker sometimes to just copy and paste properties. Now when I tap on all of these, they're all that primary color. The great thing about using a named color like that is I can go into fonts and colors and just change that. I could make it green or whatever I want. And you can see there that this is now updating, and they all just reflect that primary color that I'm changing. So it's a great way of being able to customize your app in a very consistent and simple way. I might just leave it there for now.